Good morning, students. So this small video I have made to make you understand what is a node in a molecular orbital, because we are going to the next topic. We are going to see what is a how we are going to derive the molecular orbitals using the salks, because we have been seeing how we can derive the salks for small molecules by using the projection method, and the same thing we will using the same salks how you can determine the molecular orbitals. So before going into molecular orbitals, you need to understand what are nodes. Okay, so you know that the atomic orbitals may combine to form the molecular orbitals. Say for example the hydrogen, you know that 1s hydrogen of the two hydrogens will combine to form the molecular orbitals. You call them as sigma and sigma star. This is a very famous thing which you already know, but after knowing the salk you need to understand that the combination is based on symmetry. So here the salks of the two hydrogen, the hydrogen molecule, the salks are going to be of the form, we know that the salks will be of the combination of you actually, according to LCAO, the molecular hydrogen wave function can be written as a combination of C1 psi1 1s1 plus C2 psi2 1s2. So the two wave functions are going to combine. Okay, so when there is actually the atomic orbital of this 1s hydrogen and another atomic orbital are going to combine in two ways. Okay, say they are going to combine like if this is the atomic orbital of 1s, let us denote them as a positive, and when they are going to combine as a constructive way, so what will happen? This is the sigma. So the wave functions are overlapping with each other. So what happens? You get a see, this is the wave function of 1s orbital of one hydrogen, and this is the another wave function of another hydrogen, and when they are going to overlap, they form a reinforcing graph like this. They have a, see, this is my original one, but there is a extra stabilization. This is due to the, this is called as a overlapping integral. So this is what is called as a overlapping integral. So I can just denote this overlapping integral as 1. Okay, so 1 minus C1 C2 C1 plus minus C2 divided by 2 C1 C2. So this is how you can calculate the overlapping integral as. Okay, so this is the overlapping integral, and this overlapping integral is going to make this as a stable one. So you are getting a bonding orbital and a anti-bonding orbital. Okay, so bonding and a anti-bonding orbital. So this anti-bonding, how it is going to be there? It is going to have the opposite phases. So there is a repulsion between the phases, and this area where the plus and minus phase of the orbitals meet is called as a node. This is what I want you all to understand. So this is what is a node. Node is nothing but it is a place where the two different phases of orbitals meet. So that place is called as a node, and it is in the node that there is a possibility of finding an electron is almost nil in that node. Okay, so how you can determine the energy of orbitals based on the nodes is, when you have lesser number of nodes, this is going to have stable or lower energy, and the orbital is going to be stable. See, for example, here there is no node, so this is more stable than this where there is a one node. So whenever you are going to just decide the the stability of orbitals based on the nodes. See, for example, let me consider the case of the possibility of this is the case where there are no nodes, so this will be more stable compared to another case. This is a pi orbital case. Pi or sigma, the nodes, the concept of nodes is the same. So if I am going to have an orbital like this, then there is one node here, so this is going to be higher in energy. And as the number of electrons or the wave functions are going to increase, the possibilities of the number of nodes is going to decide the energy of the orbitals. This one I want you all to understand, because based on the energy and symmetry, based on the number of nodes and also the symmetry, the molecular orbitals are going to form, and they are going to be located in the increasing order of their energy, and the occupancies also depend on this. So this point I want you all to understand what is a node. So lesser the number of nodes, more is the stability, and more the number of nodes, lesser is the stability. Okay, see, for example, if I can tell that there may be a question like this, they can give you, see, for example, there is a four atom system in which there are 4 atomic orbitals, and you are representing the molecular orbital as a linear combination of the atomic orbitals like this. Okay, so there may be a case in which the C1, C2, C3 and C4 may be given values, and depending on the values, see, for example, if C1, C2, C3, C4 all are positive, then this particular wave function is not going to have any node. And if a C1 is positive and C2 is negative, C3 is negative. For example, if C1 is some 0.5, let me just take 0.5, and this is minus 0.2, and this is minus 0.2, and this is 0.5. So here I am going to have 2 nodes. Here there is one node, here there is another node, because the positive and negative are located near to each other. So here 2 nodes are there. And if suppose there are another orbital in which there is a 0.5 minus 0.2 and then 0.5 and then minus 0.2. So here I am going to have, here is one node, here is one node, here is one node. So 3 nodes are there. So based on that, this wave function with the first set is going to have lower energy compared to that of this wave function. This one thing you should remember. Okay, thank you. So we will end the video here, and in the next video we will see what are the how you can from the salx, how you can derive the molecular orbital of water molecule.